What's up, y'all? This is Top Tier Tarot by T. I'm T. Thank you for joining me today. The messages are going to be very clear and straight to the point. I am here to advise you spiritually and help you guide in a path of ascension and assurity and clarity. I'm specifically here for single mothers, but I am also here specifically for all those in divine alignment with Yahweh, the Most High, source of creation, Mother Nature. I wanted to say Mother Gaia. And those who are just called to live in their truth without confusion. And I would love for you guys to love, share, and subscribe, as well comment on these messages to let me know if they resonate with you or not. And this message is for someone who considers themselves a hidden healer. You are automatically coming up to me in black clothing for protection and repelling negative energy, though people may receive that as you being the negative energy. Some of you have this for you, a purple sphere crystal ball, a hidden healer. Okay, amethyst sticking out to me. Okay, we have the Empress and the Queen of Cups. You are in your feminine energy, divine feminine. You are here for ever is what's coming out to me. Also, I'm channeling these words as they come, so that they're coming out very slow. You have ascended. You were definitely, for some reason, this message is coming to me different in the same way. A long while ago, Willow Smith had said something to one of her fans on camera that another person took and went down a rabbit hole about, and I ended up coming across this reel, but I didn't invest into it too long. I watched it for about 3 to 5 seconds, like most people do nowadays, and I saw that she spoke about how she is 35 billion years old or something along the lines of that. And that is the beginning of humanity, right? 35 million, billion, something, 35, whatever. And so, 35 is significant. Some of you may be turning 35 this year. Today could be your 35th birthday. Congratulations, happy birthday. Literally 3:05 on the clock. And so, it's significant somehow, some way. You've been here for a very, very long time, or you tapped into this. You are a hidden healer. I'm also thinking about the typical term bruja, and then there's the also, but I'm addressing all white anyway. But there's also the shamans, the hoodoo practitioners, those who did it from their ancestries, the doulas, midwives. This is your message here. This is your message. Something here about birth giver, birth canal. You could be a woman that carries children for people who can't have children. Hidden healer. Hidden healer. Your portal is the karma dealt to the masses. So the things that you give birth to automatically require respect, or there'll be consequences. You may have recognized this when like something happens to your child or something happens to you, that people get like immediate karma. It makes me think about my homegirl from the past. She used to always say, it doesn't matter whatever he does, because whenever somebody does something to me, they go to jail. She's like, I don't have to do nothing. They just end up going to jail. I don't know why that happens. That type of vibe here. In another sense, I did some research and I found out that some people consider this term where you don't have to do nothing and something happens to other people, like being like a deity. Being that you've been here forever and all that, very rarely are people considered like a deity or a deity on earth. Okay, a demigod. But I'm for one the type of person who believes that we all are. Some people are just born tapped into that awareness. I believe that you are one of those people who are just aware. What did I say about how people get karma when they decide to mess with the things that you give birth to? Judgment card. See, when these messages are channeled, I'm sure you already understand. They're truly channeled. And nothing can interfere with it unless it's allowed. And I feel like that's something that you as a hidden healer, you keep yourself hidden in plain sight so nobody understands or has to fight you on your own understanding, or to avoid internal conflict with who you are. If that makes sense. I don't have to explain myself to you, but if I explain myself to you, that would be an exertion of energy that can be transmuted and destroy, disrupt, dismantle, or corrupt my understanding of myself. Because everybody else's perspective on your journey isn't valuable unless you allow it, meaning you accept their 2 cents. And as we know about our mind, it's like a computer. We are super atoms. The information we decide to take in holds a space somewhere. As a hidden healer, that I feel like some of you had to learn to remove, or how to remove. Okay, the Tower card. So again, that's all about new perspective. Okay, it's all about having to, we fall down, but we get up. That's immediately that's the song I rock my son to sleep to when all things fail. He is a music child. So anyway, so I'll just sing that same part over and over again. But automatically I'm drawn to how this rainbow kind of is above the window behind this tower and the portal that's at the top, right? I'm thinking about CERN for some reason. Okay, so I don't know what's really going on with CERN. I heard about, CERN opening up, and they use it, and they said that there are interdimensional beings that hop in and out of this jank, blase, so on and so forth. Maybe you guys have had some visitations, or maybe you also, when we have these shifts that happen because of them playing with our life, it causes you to remember more. I'm just seeing multiple levels of light reflected into you. From your crown to your heart. And your throat chakra. It doesn't disrupt you, it may make you have to take a shift to learn this new aspect of yourself, but it unlocks another power, if you get what I'm saying. And that definitely explains this Temperance card for the need to reflect and heal. And she is literally walking in the rainbow. The water has become the reflection of light. Water is the representation of purity, cleansing, channels, the absorption of information. Like the falling down is the submersion of those things. She's carrying a cauldron, and it makes me think that she's picking out what is in the water that she can add to her cauldron, but like her altar or her workings, her magic, you know. The Queen of Swords is all about information, leading with the information that you receive, the lessons that you learn, the wisdom that's obtained. To me, the Queen of Swords is ready for war. So that with this being like the hidden healer, I automatically think about how in movies and TV shows there are, and I really don't watch that many, but in traumatic situations, the people who are in blue, the people who usually wear blue and black and blue and, you know, red and white, the ones that work in the hospital, fire department, you know, this is when they get to show the skills of what they've learned without the pay. The people who've been in the military, things like this. And for you, you may are. But some of you, for the most part, are not on black and white paper as these individuals, though you have education on remedies, life-saving tools. You may have taken some courses on a lot pertaining to, because you gravitated towards it, but it's not at the forefront. Not everybody knows about it. It could be your occupation. It could be your side hustle. It could be something that was just passed down to you. But like the hidden aspect of it is this is in you. No one sees it because it's really in you. And when the time comes, you're ready to exercise it. You're ready for war. I drew a picture many, many years ago, and I just seen a flash of it. And I've worked on this picture since high school for a grade. I was in art school. And it was a woman who looked like me and how I used to wear my hair at the time, which was in a bun. A woman who had her hair up in a bun with tattoos, no shirt on, with a spear or a sword. They're automatically thinking about Ogun in her back. And she pulls out the sword. In my imagination, she pulls out the sword. She also has, warrior tattoos that I don't even know nothing about. I don't know what they mean, but this is like intuitive artwork. So, you know, later on in my years, I kind of stumbled on, oh, wow, okay, there's a meaning behind that. And she's coming from one reality to another. From ancient times where you see pyramids and ancient artifacts and desert and the heat rays of the sun, which means, like, in a sense to me, closer to your divinity, closest to nature, closest to before the illusion. And she's in between that space and the government judicial system crumbling down. And there's a explosion with money just kind of burning at the tips coming out of it. Yes, I will post the picture on my up here. The early stages of me working on it and the later ones before I lost my sketchbook in storage. But one day I'll get another one. Now I have kids, so that's another story. But it's as if you are her, but that's the warrior stance. She also had a château or whatever. I've never even called it that. A chateau. I don't even know what that is, y'all. Okay? I'm trying to say she had a bag. She had a bag. Um, and that's where you had everything, like very little things that you needed, and it all comes in handy for healing. Just little things, little oils and tinctures, and a little, maybe a wrap. You know, I'm thinking like you only need a little bit and it'll go very far. You might know 2 oils that'll do everything. Sickness, take away poison, heal a wound. Like you might, and open your congestion, remove like almost like black seed oil. You'll probably have like black seed oil and and tea tree oil or some, like I can't think of the combination, but you know what's necessary. Like, you know what I mean? And then you have like a needle, a little thing of needles and some gauzes, and like you only need a little bit of that, and then any type of situation you're faced with, everything else is fine. You know what I mean? I can't explain it. And I'm also getting some people are here that can heal with their hands. So Reiki or the laying of hands is significant. I'm also getting that you being hidden is like a war move. Because the Most High Source Energy was preparing you for this. Preparing you for the opportunity to be hidden in plain sight and do the least of